We were having so much fun. So much fun, I decided to do the Mistrons thing again. Well, I was just doing the Salah song. We basically heard this brilliant Mohamed Salah song. Hello, welcome back. Stanford Chidge here, Chelsea Football FanCast. What ho? No, but basically, Paul's just found this brilliant thing. So we forgot completely that we were doing a live TV show, but that's how we roll here. Now,
how long were we on air for before?
I have no idea. I hope we didn't say anything naughty. Greg, did we say anything naughty?
Did they hear the song?
No, he muted us. he knows us only too well. No, but seriously, somebody's come up with a brilliant Mohamed Salah song, which has been lifted. You know, the Scousers do one too. I just can't get enough. But we've lifted it from there. It's brilliant. We might do it later if we get time. I'll get Pablo to do a solo version of it rather than me.
I'm the bassist.
Okay, Pablo will play bass and I will sing it. All right. Goodness me, the things I do for this flaming show. Right, anyway, I'm delighted to say in this wonderful part that we've got the lovely Pete Trenter, who, I mean, you know, if you've been down to Chelsea for many a year, you'll know Pete, because he's been part of the furniture down there for many a year. Pete, how long have you been supporting Chelsea?
I think it's about 46 years, February, next month.
That is remarkable.
Yeah.
You know, that is remarkable.
Yeah.
That's a long time. So you would have seen... So you basically started supporting Chelsea, I suspect, just about the same time that Tommy Dock took over.
68, he was 60...
Actually, no, I've got that completely wrong. My maths is never very good.
68 was my first game. My dad was, God bless him, big Ipswich town, came from Ipswich, all his family were from Ipswich, and he took me to see Chelsea Ipswich in the FA Cup. And that was it, really.
Yeah.
You know, saw the Charlie Cooks, the Peter Osgoods.
How about that?
Hutchinsons, and...
So what was your first game was...
So he thought I'd support the Blues, and I did, but the wrong ones, of course, for him.
So your first game was Chelsea Ipswich, right, in '68. Do you remember the score?
Yeah, I think it was 3-1.
3-1 to
Aaron
us.
on the benches, you'll be able to look that up. Tell me if I'm
right.
Yeah, 3-1.
And what minute did they score in there?
It was 3-1 or 3-0. Yeah, 3-1 or 3-0. Yeah.
Now, you know, so when did you kind of? I mean, you would have been quite young then, really.
Well, strangely enough, I mean, you look at it.
Were you that young?
I was a lot younger than that. Yeah.
How old are you there, mate?
I think I'm about mid-20s there.
That's
actually.
Wonderful. I like the disco pose. Did you like
the kitchen? I was decorating at the time.
Were you? Right.
Yeah.
I did wonder.
Yeah.
I was a bit worried.
Fag in the mouth. Yeah.
I was a bit worried for you for a minute. Now, that does look like a disco move. You're throwing a shape there, Pete.
I think
but that would have been the first incation of the disco movement, in fact, wouldn't it? So that's got 70s written all over it.
Yes. Yeah, 70s. Yeah. You're right, Chidge. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I was around in the 70s too. I know. I don't even look like I was born in the 80s. I know, but I was in fact around in the 70s. Now, funny enough, my first Chelsea game was in the 70s, but weirdly they weren't playing. Figure that one out.
Yeah.
Because my dad took me to see Southampton play Crystal Palace in '76, Cup semi-final of that year. Because I grew up down in Hampshire, and I fell in love with Stamford Bridge and therefore Chelsea. So you know, his little cunning plan backfired there. But there you go. Right. So you've seen a lot of games, mate. What are some of your best games? Do you think?
Well, there were some good games. Good rubbish games, really, in the early days.
Because this is what people say. This is what I know. You can't really read it on the screen, but this is what this T-shirt is really all about. Yeah. The whole where were we when we were cross, as you've now.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Exactly.
I mean, to be fair, in the 70s and 80s, a lot of the games I went to were home games. Didn't do very many away games. Did the odd one or two, but home life prevented me from doing it. But you know, it's been great. I've enjoyed every minute of it. But you know, for memories, it's got to be. Recently, I guess, isn't it? Munich, Bolton. I thought Bolton would never be surpassed until we did Munich, you know. And
it's funny that, isn't it? I mean, I know a lot. Actually, one of my best mates at Chelsea, very instrumental for getting me back here in a way. But he's the same age as you, pretty much.
He's quite young then.
Yeah, he's very young, and you know, he wasn't at Bolton the day we won the title. We all congregated. In Fulham Road that night, and you know.
Well, the strange thing was,
a lot of grown men crying that night.
We saw the celebrations, of course, afterwards of what was going on down on the Fulham Road, and you wanted to be in two places at once, and of course you couldn't do it. But
no.
But
you were there.
I mean, it was just.
I think given. I mean, I know it was fantastic that night. I mean, that night is one of my favourite nights as a Chelsea supporter because
well,
it was just mental.
we stayed in Manchester that weekend.
I know you did. We've got a picture actually. There's a picture of Pete with the flag.
There's a group
no. Since when has that had a flag in it?
That is not a flag.
Don't you dare call Bobby Tamling a flag.
Is that what you're calling it now?
No, they'll find it. But there's a great shot of you outside of Old Trafford with your flag with a load of mates, which I'm sure they'll find in a minute, and we'll show you. There we go. Look at that. That's outside.
We decided to drive down on the Sunday and just remind them who won the league.
Yeah. Did they know? Did they have a clue?
Well, the funny thing was, when we got there, we before that picture, we'd driven up and down past the stadium tooting our horn and shouting champions about 4 or 5 times before we'd actually did that. And that sort of brought the stewards out.
Oh, yeah.
And when we got the flags and the banners out, the stewards started giving us some funny waving movements.
Yeah.
Didn't think it was at all funny, but we thought it was comical.
I think it's hilarious. So who were you with in that photo? Lizzie, obviously.
Yeah, Lizzie. John, who's part of the Gay Boy banner.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
But not necessarily in any homophobic terms whatsoever.
Not in the banner there that you can't see is that there was Trizzy was there and Paul was there.
Right.
And quite a few. There was about 8
CSG massive.
Yeah, CSG massive. Yeah.
So there we go. So I mean, okay, between Bolton and Munich, is it Munich or is it Bolton? Was the favourite? That's a tough question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that a tough question?
Yeah, very tough.
I'm like Jeremy Paxman, I am. Goodness me.
I would say Munich.
Now
the Holy Grail.
It is, wasn't it? I mean, there's Munich. Can we have a look at the one where he takes Pete's best photograph ever? We're going to talk about that in a minute. Pete's best photograph ever.
Best footballing photograph.
Drogba's penalty. When I saw this, I thought, there's no way that you took that. Where did you nick that from? But you took that, didn't you?
Well, I actually, before he ran up to take it, or before he stepped up to take it, I pointed it, zoomed in, and then looked away and clicked.
No way.
So I didn't actually see the penalty being taken.
No way.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That is remarkable.
And that was the result. And it wasn't until afterwards that I realised I had it on the position where I could hold the shutter down, and it would go click, 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 click.
No way.
I just took it once and thought, oh no!
Oh no!
Yeah.
You could have had it. Yeah.
Could have had the sequence. Yeah.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
But how brilliant that.
But that's a one-off. That's probably the best footballing picture I've ever taken.
But I mean, seriously,
and I do take a few.
You do take a few, and you're known for it.
Yeah,
I mean, when I saw that, I actually thought that was like a professional photograph.
And you will find press photographers that will never get a photo that good as well.
It's quite astonishing.
There's 2 or 3 other penalties from different angles, but
now we did see a sneaky preview, and actually this was taken at the Alliance. Can we see that one of Pete outside the Alliance with the flag again, Greg? Now, one of the things that many Chelsea supporters know Pete for, apart from the CSG and stuff, is this flag.
It's a banner, choose.
Sorry, banner. What's the difference between a banner and a flag?
A banner is you take with you. Flag's up on a pole.
Oh, all right, okay. I never knew that. Now I do. So tell me all about the banner then, Pete, because this is well known. This is a well-loved and well-known banner, this, and I know it has a story behind it.
It does have a story behind it, yeah. There's this is actually, the one you're looking at now is banner number 2. Banner number 1 was, I used to leave it tied up on the shed upper, and I had it cable tied down so nobody would nick it. But unfortunately, when we played Moscow, won Champions Leagues many years ago, I can't remember what year it was now, I came in the next game to put it over and it wasn't there. And I thought, so one of the stewards has taken it down, and no, nobody could find it. And it transpired that it had actually been nicked. They'd actually managed to get the cable ties undone and taken the thing away.
We've got breaking news, I think, Pete. We've found out what happened to your banner. Can we have a look to see what happened to Pete's banner? Oh my God!
Yeah, that was
October 2010. It was Stretch.
Eh?
October 2010.
What time of the day?
2010. Yeah, what time of the day?
How many people nicked it, Darren?
What was his name? What was his name? Give me his name.
Have you got a description of them, Darren?
Yuri something, was he?
You can see him.
Yeah.
You can see it. Can we have another look at it? Because it is quite... I mean, this is awful, actually, because, I mean...
I found this picture. Somebody said to me, have you seen your banner on the RussianUltras.com? And I said, oh, good, you found it. And of course, I then got to the picture and thought, I wish you hadn't found it.
Yeah, well, they're blowtorching it,
it does actually look like he's got a blowtorch, doesn't it?
That's
Have
pretty...
they not just got a smoke bomb behind it and a flare in front of it? Maybe?
I don't know what it is. But the bit of comfort I get from it beers, it's snowing, and it must have been bloody cold, and
Yeah.
I hope they froze their nuts off. So.
I hope so too. You know what? You're not the only one.
But that was banner number one.
That was banner number one.
Yeah, banner number two managed to last me all the way till Schalke last year.
Good stuff.
And then that
And that
is
got
now
half inch
hanging
as well,
in
isn't
some
it?
little scrote's bedroom somewhere.
Yeah.
So.
So, I mean, here's the thing that I was talking to you about this before we went on air. You know, but from as far as my memory serves, you know, banners. Chelsea have always had a thing about banners, or
Yeah,
Chelsea
they always-
supporters.
yeah.
It goes back a long way. Actually,
Yeah.
what is it about Chelsea supporters and banners? Why are they so important to us, mate?
I don't think it's just Chelsea that have banners. I think it's a lot of clubs do.
No,
them,
you're
but-
right. Liverpool have flags.
Liverpool have flags.
Flags. We have
Yeah.
banners. You're right. I'm glad
Yeah.
you corrected me on that.
Yeah. I think it's just it's a bit of an individual thing. I think you either like them or you don't. You know, I mean, I think it adds a bit of colour, adds a bit of atmosphere.
Yeah,
You know, we're all after a little bit more atmosphere in the ground.
we are. It's colourful.
And it's
I think it
colourful.
lays down a marker as well.
Yeah.
You know, I like that.
Yeah.
Always like that. And I think if you're not at the game, one of the nicest things to look out for, you know, is your mates' banners. You know,
Yeah.
and other people's. I mean, one of my favourite banners of all time was Munich. You know, we had who did the "Don't Tell Them Your Name" pike? It was you, wasn't it?
Well, that was there was two actually. There was Don't Tell Me Name Pike, and there was I can't even think what it was now, but there was two takeoffs from Dad's Army. Yeah.
One was Who Do You Think You're
Who
Kidding?
do you think you're
by
kidding?
Munich.
That's right. Yeah. Well, two of us had that done. I won't mention who the other guy was because Graham Bush will get really upset if I say it was him.
Bushes.
Yeah.
No, he wouldn't do that.
But we had them done together.
You know the Bushes. Bushes was about. He was the couple of rows behind me, about 10, 15 seats to the right of me. And that's the other thing I loved about Munich, because nobody knew. You know, I got my ticket so late, I had no idea where I was going to be. So I, you know, turned up randomly, and then I had Martin Wickham, who's a great mate of mine,
Yeah.
just down there. Sammy, who I'd been in the pub in the afternoon with, he was kind of another 10 rows behind me. Bushes was up. I mean, it was just brilliant. That was happening all over
we had
the
the
place.
same, yeah. Triz and Paul were near us, and
Yeah.
then Charlie, some friends of ours, and everybody was together. And it's great because you could share, you know, the joy of what went on that night.
It
you know,
was,
with your
wasn't it?
mates.
Very much the joy of sex, but in a Chelsea sort of way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's
yeah.
move on.
Probably better. yeah.
Right, okay. Chelsea supporters group, Pete.
Yeah.
You are one of the founder members, are you not?
Well, I'm not the founder
thought you
member,
were.
but I did actually help set it up originally. But it wasn't my idea. It was actually put together by Trizia and hurry up, Dave Johnson.
He gets everywhere.
Gets everywhere.
You know, we call him he who. You're not allowed to say his name on this show. He has to be referred to as he who must not be named.
Right, it was He Who Must Not Be
That's
Named,
the one.
and Triz put it together in about just under 10 years ago now,
2005.
2005, yeah. And we had a meeting at Chelsea gave us the Galleria, which has been all different forms since then. We had the meeting there, got it set up there, and it's been going strong ever since. So.
Excellent stuff. What's it for in a simple
Well,
terms?
I think there wasn't enough dialogue between the fans and the club. We felt at the time, and I think if you can get a group set up where you can take supporters' concerns, well, not just concerns but praises as well sometimes, but concerns mainly, and we felt they needed a voice, someone that they could turn to if they had a problem. People that might have had their tickets taken away for unfair reasons that we felt or they felt were unfair, all this type of thing. And that was the main reason it was set up. And it's developed on from there now. We've progressed now. We're nearly 10 years into it. We now have the great facility at Cobham every year to do the fans football tournament.
Yeah, which is that's your bag, isn't it?
Well,
the CSG,
again, yeah. I mean, it wasn't set up by us. He Who Must Not Be Named
Thank you.
originally did it.
We get royalties every time we say that. by the way.
And then we took it on from there when he felt that he didn't have the time to actually put the commitment into it that was needed, and we took it on from there, and it raises a lot of money as well for charities.
And it's quite
we
fun.
gave away £1,000 this year on the pitch.
with Regenerate, wasn't it?
With
We've got a
500
picture.
for Regenerate
Yeah.
and 500 for Chelsea.
We gave you a
Foundation.
shout out on the show for that, actually,
Did
as
you?
I recall.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we love Walter's charity is
Yeah, it's
a
great.
favourite of
isn't it?
ours
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we've had different social events and that's what we do, and it's developed over the years. We've got about 2,500 members now signed up, and hopefully just keep it going and keep being there, when we're needed.
There's, if people, I wouldn't be surprised actually, and this is kind of the weird way that things like Facebook and Twitter work, but there are probably people out there who are more familiar with Trizia's blog, which is called Terrace Talk,
Yeah.
and Driver on the Wing, which, you know, I've got to say, I mean, Driver on the Wing is probably the funniest and best writing I have ever seen to do with Chelsea. But there are probably people out there who are more familiar than that and don't actually realise that that's actually very much part of CSG. In fact, it's always on the CSG website. Yeah. I'm very fond of both, and for very different reasons. I mean, Driver on the Wing we'll go into in a minute, but I love Tritzier's blog because Tritsier speaks absolutely from the heart.
Absolutely.
And I love that. Yeah. But the best thing of all is that my pub after the game is the Hand and Flower.
Where she drinks.
Exactly. And I'm sitting there, everybody's getting absolutely mullered, and there's Tritz bashing away on her laptop trying to, like...
Well, she has to. I mean, we had this conversation last week, funny enough. She has to actually get this blog in.
That's right.
Within about, I think it's about an hour after the end of the game.
It's a nightmare of a deadline.
Because it's all done for the Irish Examiner.
That's right.
That's where it all started from.
I've given her the odd word or phrase, I have to say.
Yeah, and she did say she finds it very difficult when there's lots of drunken people around her shouting and screaming, trying to actually put this thing together in the...
But she stays totally imperious throughout all of it, actually. Like, you can speak to her hours.
She did actually say to me, when you come on tonight, Pete, can you just tell that Chiz to give me 5 minutes because he's got such a mouth on him.
I know. She loves me, really. She was giving me a cuddle and a kiss, so she can't hate me too much. And she has got some very nice choices of phrase from me, which I've given her for free. She didn't credit me for those, but I forgive her because I love Tritz, you know. But they are brilliant. But Driver on the Wing is something else. I mean, Driver on the Wing is ostensibly an article about the weather for the next match that Chelsea are playing, and with a bit of fashion advice in terms of what you should be wearing. So, for example, if it's going to be peeing down with rain, then obviously wear a sturdy coat. But the best thing I like about it is that never ever wear red trousers, and in fact anything red. Sorry about this. This is a bit of a joke for that reason. And remember, you are Chelsea, and Chelsea is style. I mean, it's just genius, isn't it?
Oh, it's developed over the years, and just to give you some insight, I actually moderate the website, and I put these things on, and some of the comments. I mean, I have to moderate the comments, especially on drivers' pieces, and
it's aimed at the opposition fans.
I sit there sometimes and see these comments coming in, and I think, oh my God, I can't put that up. And then I have to alter something on something and then put it up. But the funniest thing, I have to tell you, the funniest thing was the Derby County one.
Make sure there's no swearing.
No, there was no swearing. But Derby County Radio got hold of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Derby County Radio.
Because people in Derby are all short, aren't they?
Yeah, and this was part of the thing. You know, part of the article was you'd be standing in the urinal and you'd have to be careful not to pee on one of the Derby County supporters' heads because they're so small.
They are very small.
But they are small. I noticed that when we were up there.
Mind you, Pete, everybody's small compared to you.
Yeah, they are, to be fair, yeah. But Derby County Radio got hold of it, and they actually wanted an interview, and and we got the other co-vice chair, Michelle Shaw, actually had the interview with Derby County and tried to explain to them that the articles are tongue-in-cheek. You know, they're not meant to be taken seriously, and they did actually see the funny side of it, which was quite.
So they should, because they are.
But the ones you wouldn't believe, the ones that actually really take umbrage to these articles are mostly the Midlands teams.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because everybody knows that if you're in the Midlands, you don't have a sense of humour.
Yeah, absolutely. All of the Midlands teams, whenever you're going to go away, whenever we do the one for the Midlands teams, you can guarantee that the comments box will go bang.
Yeah, they don't have a sense of humour.
They do not have a sense of humour.
Right, we should, before we have to go to break, I need to get out of you how you join the CSG and what you get for that.
Easy enough, really. It's all free. Just go to the website, which is...
There we go.
There it is, chelseasupportersgroup.net.
How about that?
Hit the click the link that says join here, or join us, and it's easy as that.
And you get all sorts of other things too if you want. I must admit, I think we're all around this table. We're members of the CSG.
I know that I am,
Pablo lets the side down yet again.
Sorry.
I'll have him tonight before we go.
Unbelievable. But by the way, Twitter, you can follow the CSG at CSG 2005, and Pete is at Camberley CFC. Should you want to follow Pete?
And we're also on Facebook if anybody wants to go that route.
Yeah. But you do get a lovely badge. I've got a lovely CSG badge myself. But you have other things too: T-shirts, fleeces, polo shirts.
Yeah, it's. We don't sell millions, but you know they're there if people want to buy them.
Not as many as Torres shirts, then.
No, we haven't quite reached that yet. No. In fact, we sell nearly as many as probably you do with your T-shirts.
I wish, mate. I wish.
That's how bad it is.
I wish. I'm going to ponder that while we go to the break. But before we do, I think a round of applause for Pete because he's a legend, actually. He's the closest call this goes. We're lucky to have him on the show. Now, we will be back, and I hope you're going to ask him some questions about his time at Chelsea and the CSG after the break.